All right, it's Tuesday, October 8th. This is kind of an end of the day SPY recap. Today on the daily chart, you can see here we end up with a 2-up green day that broadened out above yesterday's high and hit its target right up here. That's after a red day to start the week yesterday, which you kind of thought that maybe we were going to come down and continue lower, test the lows of yesterday and then the lows of last week. But instead, you can see price then opens up above the midpoint of the prior day and moves up. In terms of the actual 15-minute price action, you can see here the pre-market range kind of moved up a little bit. So even after that down red bar, day to day, everything can change, and then we end up with a nice green bar on bar 2 for a buy signal. It had one push up, kind of an orderly, this was just a consolidation in here, and then kind of a orderly pullback to held the midpoint of the first bar, then green up. So there was your secondary trade to test the highs of the day. So classic 2 pushes up today after the up start. And you can see on the weekly chart, what's a little tricky about this environment is that for the last 3 weeks now, or 2.5 weeks anyway, we're in really a tight range up here. We've come up, but we're selling off, come up, sell off, move down, move down. So you can almost sense this big trading range going on. If you look at the daily chart, it's all in here. So you could be getting green days, some red failures, green days, then a green up that fails, red down fails, green up. So the bottom line is going for the rest of this week, as long as we kind of stay above the open of the week, which is this blue line, and don't get a 2 down bar to then test these lows again, we're expecting to hit these highs, and then we'll see at that inflection point if we can break through there on the weekly chart. So there's your context at least. So tomorrow, as long as we kind of hold above the midpoint of the day, we'll see what kind of price action unfolds on the 15-minute chart and expect something to resolve higher towards these targets. You could get a surprise and some kind of down opening. We'll see the pre-market range, and if we get a 2 down day, that not only is below the open of the week, but it then has a kind of a target down here. In other words, we did broaden out above this 1 bar here. We made lower lows, higher highs. So that's all the market has to do. But since it's a pretty strong green bar, you expect it to go to the next level. But anything's possible now that it broadens. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. But we know our reference point. Unfortunately for me, I traded early in the day and I took a small loss, even though I sensed the market was up. I decided to buy Meta here at the upper blue line. First bar kind of paused. Second, had a little bit of a red hammer bar, then paused on bar 2, then broke out on bar 3. So I bought it there, and I watched it for 1, 2, and then on the fourth, bar or the 5th bar of the day, after it turned red and started lower, I decided to take a small loss. So my trading today had to just be, I bought the stock at 591.20 Meta, and I sold it at 590.46 for a very small loss. Then that was kind of it. It just grinded lower. There was nothing I was too excited about as I was watching it. I kind of knew the up bias, but it was a little tricky. Didn't move up till the end of the day. So, and a lot of stocks were like that. Coinbase, for example, moved lower and then at the very end moved up. The best stock was really, and if I would have picked it, was either Netflix to trade today to the upside early on, and Nvidia was not a bad one today that moved up early, held, and then kind of grinded higher. But it was mixed market. I mean, I can go around and just show you I'm watching AMD. That one decided to go down, and when it came up, it couldn't really take out the first bar high. So it was just a matter if, you were lucky enough to either trade the indexes or pick the right stock. I decided to go with Meta because it was, context is strongly up. We had a good opening here that I thought would start hitting these highs, and it still might get there, but it was just one of the stocks that didn't want to do it early versus some other stocks that were stronger. So you don't always pick the right ones. Tesla even, kind of started down, and that didn't have that stayed within that first bar almost all session long. So, I just sometimes, it's just a matter of luck in terms of picking the right stocks that work out. Or today would have been a good day to trade the indexes. I mean, the SPY had 2 pushes up, and even the QQQs, they were a little stronger. So if you were fortunate enough to buy that, on bar number 2, you had 2 pushes up here, and good up price action, but a mixed market. So anyway, just thought I'd recap the SPY. Like I said, now I'm biased to the upside for the rest of the week, and I know my reference point is kind of this opening price, which is like the midpoint of today. So as long as we stay above there, I'm expecting to test last week's highs, and then we'll see what happens from there. But it's very choppy, so I kind of know there's a big range in here for 3 weeks, and any move to the top could bring in a failure. The same thing with any move to the bottom. So until we get out of this sideways action, I don't know for sure what's going to unfold on the market up or down, but given the trend is up and given it's not really falling, it seems to be building up energy for maybe a whole nother push up. But again, that all depends on what kind of price action unfolds and how this weekly chart eventually unfolds by the end of the week. So for now, I'm kind of looking at heading towards the top of last week until proven otherwise, and we'll see if that unfolds. And I kind of know my reference points for the rest of the week.